Welcome to the 7 News Review, your quick recap of the top local and state stories this week from Southwest Oklahoma and beyond. I'm Dave Hunter, and here's what you need to know. Our top story this week, Cash Saver in Lawton will close its doors within 45 days, leaving customers who depend on the store scrambling for alternatives. 7 News reporter Ree Kirksey has that full story.
That sound has a deadline. Cash Saver in Lawton closes its doors within 45 days, and for the people who depend on it, the clock is already ticking. This isn't just one store. Homeland is closing 4 of its locations across Oklahoma, consolidating 3 others, and putting more up for sale, all part of what the company calls a comeback plan. Sandra Gibson is one of the regulars, and for her, it's personal.
And I hate that it's closing, I really miss the 5 for 25. I like
the
that.
good deals.
It's a good deal on some meat.
Hi, this is Kristen.
Homeland VP of Communications Kristen King says the company fought to keep its stores open, but couldn't.
We worked really hard to keep them open, but continuing to do so started to impact the health of our entire company in the last half of last year. And so this allows us to stabilize and reinvest.
Homeland says it will work to move impacted employees into positions at other locations. Consolidated stores are set for a grand reopening July 1st. But for this neighborhood, the math is simple. Jeanette Urbanowicz works right across the street at Trinity Christian Academy. She says losing this store hits the people who can least afford it.
All these people around here are going to have to go all the way over to Sheridan or to the east side to shop. And this place is cheaper than Walmart, than Sam's. And in this economy, losing a store like this in such a neighborhood where people shop here to save money because they are struggling from day to day.
Homeland calls this a comeback, but in a neighborhood where people shop here because they're struggling day to day, it feels more like a goodbye. For 7 News, I'm Ree Kirksey.
And also taking place this week, Firehawk Aerospace broke ground Thursday on its rocket fuel manufacturing facility on Lawton's west side. The project is expected to bring 100 jobs with an average salary of about $93,000. State and local leaders grabbed their shovels and hard hats for the ceremonial groundbreaking at the site of the future 40,000 square foot facility, which will manufacture rocket fuel. Among those in attendance were Governor Kevin Stitt and Senator James Lankford, who say the addition of Firehawk is huge for the future of Lawton Fort Sill and the state of Oklahoma. The new Firehawk facility will be built on 320 acres of land on Goodyear Boulevard. Construction is expected to be wrapped up by May 31st of next year. And lastly, for your top stories, a couple of crime stories in our area as another teacher is facing charges for assault and battery on a student. Elizabeth Sutton is accused of hitting a student in the face and forcefully sitting the student down. Police responded to the school after the principal called reporting the incident. Court documents reveal it was another staff member who witnessed the incident and reported it. The incident was also caught on video. This arrest comes only about 2 weeks after another Elgin Public School employee was arrested on similar charges of assault and battery on a student. Torio McClung is accused of carrying a 5-year-old student down the hallway in a chokehold. Both Sutton and McClung have been released on bond. Sutton is due back in court in May. And on Tuesday of this week, KSWO learned a Lawton man has been arrested and charged in a shooting that left 1 person dead and 3 others injured at the Red Dirt Reloaded Bar and Grill on March 21st. Juan Edward Johnson, 27, is facing a felony charge of second-degree murder in the death of Terrell Roberts. According to court documents, investigators with the Lawton Police Department reviewed security footage from the bar and grill. Officers said they identified Johnson, who was seen shooting in Roberts' direction. Investigators said they interviewed Johnson, who provided a story with multiple inconsistencies. He admitted to possessing a 9mm handgun, but claimed he only used it at the bar after seeing another person with a gun near Roberts. Johnson said the unidentified person fired at him. Johnson changed his story about the location of his gun after the shooting multiple times, according to investigators. He said the gun was at his residence, that the person who drove him to the bar had it, and that he threw it out of the vehicle window into a creek near West Gore Boulevard and Northwest 53rd Street. Officers searched the creek for 1.5 hours but were unable to locate the weapon. Johnson was booked on second-degree murder and an additional misdemeanor charge of carrying a weapon where alcohol is served. Now, here are some of the top stories making headlines across Oklahoma this week. First, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford is weighing in on the shakeup in the Trump administration, sharing his thoughts on Pam Bondi's removal and what it means going forward. Lankford stated cabinet members serve at the president's pleasure, and Bondi has been a key player on national security and crime. He credits her with helping drive down crime in Washington, D.C., and says communities like Memphis have been grateful for her involvement. He also says Bondi has pushed U.S. attorneys to go harder after drug trafficking, leading to more cases and convictions. Lankford added that he's ready to join his peers in seeing whoever the president nominates to replace Bondi through the process. That the U.S. needs attorney generals who need the trust of the president and the nation. And lastly, for your state news, candidate filing opened Wednesday, April 1st in Oklahoma and will close on April 3rd. Multiple candidates at the local, county, and state level have filed. You can see the full list of current filings at our website, kswo.com. Before we wrap up, here's a few community quick hits. First of all, April has been designated as the month of the military child, a time to recognize their sacrifice and dedication to the military's mission. Freedom Elementary students were greeted at the school Wednesday by teachers, staff, and parents lining the hallways, applauding their accomplishments and their commitment. Also taking place in the community this week, Arvest Bank launched the 16th annual Million Meals campaign, aiming to raise awareness and funds to combat local hunger. They're asking for help during this 2-month initiative to raise money to fight hunger by funding local food pantries during the expected increase in need in the summer months when many children just don't have access to free school meals. Oklahoma ranks number 6 nationally in food insecurity, with almost 17% of households saying they lack the money to provide enough food for their families. In the last 15 years, the initiative has helped provide over 28 million meals and has collected more than $5.1 million in donations. And lastly, for your community stories, high school students interested in health care and science got a first-hand look at the broad field of medicine Thursday. That event was part of Operation Orange, a program by Oklahoma State University Center for Health Sciences, hosted at the Fista STEM Center. Students had access to several stations, providing details on things like chest compressions, taking blood pressure readings, and more. Alexandra Nabus, a student from Cache High School who dreams of becoming an anesthesiologist, said she is having a good time and called it a nice opportunity to have. Nabus said once she graduates, she plans to go to University of Oklahoma to begin her academic path into the medical field. She said events like this help pave her way before college. Well, that's this week's 7 News Review. I'm Dave Hunter, and for more on these stories and the latest breaking news, head over to kswo.com or download the 7 News app. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with another 7 News Review.